Hi everyone, welcome to another module of Basic English Grammar. Today we will explore another interesting section of grammar. Let's begin. So to start, let me show you a passage. So look at this passage and take a moment to read it. And my question is, are you able to read this passage fluently and in the right way? Or do you feel like something is missing in the passage? Okay, now let's look at another version of the same passage. So look at the second passage. Then what do you feel now? Is there any difference between these two passages? Or how does this version differ from the first one? Which one is easier to read? So we can understand that definitely the second version is easier to read than the first one, because the second passage contains certain symbols or punctuation marks. So the difference between these two passages lies in the punctuation marks. So these small symbols play a significant role in reading and understanding sentences. Without punctuation, reading and writing become unclear and difficult to follow. So my dear students, today we are going to learn about the basic and most common punctuation marks in English language. Let's begin. So what is punctuation marks? Punctuation marks are symbols used in writing to separate sentences and their elements, clarify meaning, and convey the intended tone of the text. So we can say that punctuation marks are certain symbols that usually use in our writing that helps clarify meaning and convey the exact tone of the text. We can compare punctuation marks to traffic signals. Just as traffic signals help drivers on the road, punctuation marks help readers while reading. They help readers understand where to pause, where to stop, or emphasize certain idea, just as traffic signs do. Why is punctuation marks important? So we understood that punctuation marks are very important because they ensure the message is clear and easily understood. And they help to convey the correct meaning of a sentence. And punctuation marks organize ideas and make writing more readable. Let us explore the common punctuation marks and their basic functions. So the first one is full stop. It is also known as period. So usually we use full stops at the end of a sentence to show that is complete. For example, I like reading books. So in this sentence, we can understand that it is a complete sentence. So that's why we use full stops at the end of this sentence. And there are certain other situations where we can use full stops. For example, after abbreviations like etc., am, pm. Then after words like goodbye, all right, hi, we can use full stops. Then after titles like Mr., Mrs., Doctor, etc., we can use full stops. Then next one is comma. So we use commas to show a short pause or to separate items in a list. For example, I bought apples, bananas, oranges, and grapes. In this sentence, we use commas to separate the fruit items. And we also use commas to separate part of a sentence. That means if a sentence contains two ideas, we can separate that two ideas by using a comma. For example, after the rain stopped, we went outside. In this sentence, we used comma to separate two ideas. After the rain stopped, comma, we went outside. And the next is question mark. We use question marks at the end of a sentence when asking a question. For example, what is your favorite color? So this sentence is an interrogative sentence. That's why we use a question mark at the end of this sentence. So usually we use a question mark at the end of an interrogative sentence. And the next one, exclamation marks. So we usually use exclamation marks to show excitement, surprise, or strong emotions. For example, wow, that's amazing. In this sentence, we used an exclamation mark to show our excitement and surprise. So in this way, we can use exclamation marks at the end of a sentence. Next one is apostrophe. So apostrophes are used to show possession. Possession means something belongs to someone. For example, this is Alan's car. In this sentence, we use an apostrophe S. And we can also use apostrophes to show missing letters in contraction. So, for example, in the case of do not, we use an apostrophe in its contracted form, don't. Next one is quotation marks. So we usually use quotation marks to show the exact words someone says or writes. For example, William Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage. In this sentence, we used quotation marks to show the words of William Shakespeare as it is. When using quotation marks, we place them on both sides of a sentence. Next one is colon. So colons are used to introduce a list or an explanation. Example, he wanted to see 3 cities in Italy: Rome, Florence, and Venice. In this sentence, we used a colon before the list of certain places. Next example, Sarah studied hard for one purpose: to succeed in her college courses. In the second example, we used colons before an explanation. Sarah studied hard for one purpose, colon. After that, we gave the correct explanation: to succeed in her college course. And the last one, semicolon. Semicolons are usually used to link two related sentences. For example, I was tired, I went to bed early. We can join these two related sentences by using a semicolon. I was tired, semicolon, I went to bed early. Like that, semicolons are also used to separate two complete sentences that are joined by conjunctions like and, but, or, etc. For example, look at the two sentences. Jessa finished all her homework, but Lena did not finish hers. In this sentence, we used the conjunction but. We can remove the conjunction but from this sentence and we can add a semicolon instead. Jessa finished all her homework, semicolon. Lena did not finish hers. So these are the basic punctuation marks that we commonly use in our writing. I hope you all understood them well. Thank you.